wearing my Converse shirt.
You work for Converse.
Okay. We went live a little bit early. We have a lot to talk about, so we surprise
and we know you heard, oh, I'm wearing my Converse. This is who pays the bills, so it's okay. It's our son's.
By the way, I'm Jim.
I'm Rhenda.
We're Hardiness Approach. Probably already knew that, right?
Yeah, I got to go live over here, so I see us.
We were reading some comments from recent comments, and that kind of had us going. So,
yeah, they were really great. And we're going to make a comment on her comment again, which I guess when she almost spit me out when she heard us making the first one.
Well, she won't hear us live when she's listening to the replay. She will. So who was it again? What's
Jenny.
The name? Oh, you're going to. Oh,
let me turn the volume down.
There we go.
Okay.
So it's running a little bit behind us.
That's okay.
That's fine.
It always runs a little. I'm going to turn it this way.
So you're going to tell me her name?
Jenny.
Jenny. Okay. So Jenny made some comments after we had commented on the video about her comments. Kind of surprised her. She didn't expect to be identified.
We listen to you guys.
Yes, we do. And we really did appreciate her comments. One thing I want to ask Jenny, I know a lot of people use the once in a blue moon statement. I've never known how often a blue moon is. And if I had to wait for a blue moon to get ice cream, that'd be a problem. But on the ice cream, now Jenny, I hope your husband's not listening, because I'm going to give you something tricky to do that may make a difference on.
Just a second. I got to say hi to 180 degrees from average.
Oh, there they are. Good to see you guys. Consider this. Next time you empty one of the cartons from the store with the store-bought ice cream that he likes, go ahead and make up some of the ice cream we talked about with the banana.
Yeah, but it doesn't stay.
Cream.
It's like a rock if you make it up in advance. Popsicles, that makes really good popsicles.
But what I'm saying is put it into the package and then be ready to serve it to him right away before it goes totally frozen. Okay?
Oh,
then
I see.
He'll think it's coming out of the carton. And because sometimes where it comes from makes people think they like it or don't like it. Just an idea. I'm not telling you to be
He's
sneaky.
He's not telling you to eat ice cream.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to eat ice cream either. But just an idea to kind of sneak it in to see if it is the ice cream and how it was made, or if it's the packaging that comes in that makes it different.
Lois is here for a few minutes before she runs off and does more chores.
Yeah, we know how that goes. Wow, we had to break away from things to do this. So.
Yeah. In fact, I just said, go check on all the chicks, and he found 2 baby chicks dead.
Kind of, yeah, to see 2 of them dead really concerns me. It makes me think they were totally separated from one another. So
that is weird.
And nothing that I could see. So kind of odd, but
did you shut that door, the outside door?
I didn't shut the outside door.
You know what? Why don't you run really fast and shut that outside door? All right, we'll do it in a half hour.
It's okay.
We have a screen up, so we don't know, but we lost 2 of our babies.
It happens. I mean,
it's hot today, really hot. We've been getting heat warnings all day long on our phone. Are you guys going to the conference in Virginia in October, the Homesteaders of America conference?
We have our tickets, or at least our entrance tickets. We still got to get ourselves there.
We'll probably end up driving. I don't know what we'll do, but we stay with my brother in DC, so it's really nice. Yes. So we have several things we want to talk about today, and we did start a little bit early. We wanted to tell you that when we're doing our projects, we're doing them different than we would have normally done them when we were renting.
Yeah, there's a more permanent attitude.
There is a permanent attitude in it. So it's like, make them really carefully, make them good, paint them, put the tar on the bottom, make them last.
Well, we've also learned, we can create things from stuff we've gathered, and like we brought a lot with us, and we can make a lot with it. But usually the result is kind of makeshifty, and it gets the job done. And you're trying to limit how much money you spend. That's really a great way to do it. Oh. What we're figuring out, what's the matter?
Oh, No, you go ahead. I'll tell you.
What we're figuring out is that if we design and then source the right materials, we can reduce how much we have to spend to get new materials so that in the constructing of it, we can do a better job.
Right.
And that's what we're finding we want to do, because things look better, they work better, and they last longer.
Lois got new chicks that hatched today. That's
whoa, okay.
So
yeah, our daughter had some chicks hatched. They got some fertile eggs, and they had a brooding hen, and it all worked out.
And now she says, now I'm the crazy lady, chicken lady, and she loves it.
This is the girl who didn't like to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or any of those places.
She is loving her life.
She grew up.
So, could you run to the fridge and grab that snack pack so I can show it?
Sure.
Okay. So yesterday I had to go to a girls' camp and taught the girls, and the subject that I was assigned to them was emotional wellness and mental health. Unfortunately, many of teenagers in the world are suffering from depression and anxiety, and so I couldn't not talk to them about the importance of eating the right foods. And one of the things that I did was I made them all a snack that wasn't sugar. And I showed them all how to, I had a typical breakfast there that had a bowl of cereal and an orange juice and a piece of toast. And then we added up all the sugar, and I had a girl sitting there putting all the spoons of sugar into the bowl. And then I took it around. I said, so you would be eating 22 teaspoons of sugar for breakfast. And then I unveiled one of our breakfasts that has all the protein. So then I made up these little packs for them. And inside, well,
it's mostly together.
Yeah. Inside is a strawberry and a spinach. It did have a spinach here. Spinach on both ends. A spinach, a strawberry, a spinach, and cheese. And then they all got a package of almonds. I'm sorry they're in plastic, but they all got a package of almonds. And they really, really enjoyed this. Well, I had some extras, so I had them in the fridge, and I pulled them out, and I went, remember when we used to have containers in the refrigerator, and we'd have everything packaged. We'd have carrot sticks packaged and nuts packaged and
serving sizes,
all different kinds of vegetables and fruits, all done. So all we had to do was go and grab what we call a 4-pack snack.
Grab what we wanted.
Our good fats and our good carbs, our good protein, and our vegetable. And so this made me realize that that's one of the things we need to do to prep so that we eat properly. So I'm passing that on to you. The other thing that we're going to talk about today. I had Marianne Lawrence ask me if we were going to talk about fat, because we've talked about carbohydrates and we've talked about protein. And I said, of course, we'll talk about fats.
We always talk about vegetables.
Yeah, well, and I have talked about fats. But I'm going to go ahead and show some books. And if I get demonetized, I get demonetized, whatever. But everyone, we've told several times that we started out with Schwarzbein. And the one thing that a couple of things I don't agree with. I don't do any soy of any kind, and she has soy in here. And I don't do canola oil at all. And I think she switched over now, because this copyright is something like 1999. And I think she...
Last century.
Yeah, I think she doesn't do canola anymore. But she found that with her patients, they couldn't eat too much fat. If you eat too much fat of the good kind of fat, we're not talking, cake with frosting on the top and hamburgers and French fries. We're not talking that kind of fat. We're talking good fats. Your body will get sick and throw up if you have too much. So, why not soy? Okay. Let me
finish this.
Let me finish this. Well, this is going to take a long time. So let me just stop for a minute and talk about soy.
Okay.
All right. So we don't do soy because of the estrogen levels in it. And of real soy. And Megan from Creating Essence just told me that edamame does the same thing. So it really raises a woman's estrogen levels, or anyway, to a point that they're kind of not healthy for me. I can't figure them out. And then the other thing is soybean oil that is in everything that you could possibly eat from the store shelf is made in a really chemical way. And a lot of the soy lecithin and all of these products are not made properly, and they're really not good for my body. I don't do soy. You may do soy. I don't do tofu. I don't do any of that. So that's just me, what I've chosen to do. Bye, Lois. She had to go take care of the animals.
I think they were looking for perhaps a little more explanation. It's probably because there's a little bit of research to get more of the details refreshed.
And that's fine. I'll do some research on it. Today I've done research on fats. And I always start coughing. Anyway, the first thing that you need to understand is that fats don't make you fat, the right kind of fats. If you eat, could you get me a drink of water? I'm so sorry. If you eat, so the kind of fats we're talking about are saturated fats that are good fats. And do not know where this cough came from. Sorry. So butter, pasture-raised butter, ghee, coconut oil, lard from pasture-raised. We've gone through this list before. But the duck, she has some really great ones in here that she condones and that she says are amazing. Your duck fat, your goose fat, I can't remember all of them. But the real natural fats are good to be able to use. Thank you.
All better.
I just want you to understand how many different, okay, let me see what we've got here. Okay. Okay. This is the first book that I read. It's written by two doctors called The Cholesterol Myth. And that's when I started really realizing and understanding the keys, scientific study, and how it wasn't interpreted properly. So this is the first one that I read. And this is the second one that I read. And this is also by a doctor that's an endocrinologist, by Dr. Lustig. Amazing book. Pediatrician. This book is called Smart Fat. Avocados are really good fat. This one is called Eat Fat, Lose Fat. This is written by Mary Innig. She passed away just a few years ago. And the foreword is written by Sally Fallon. She was the mother of finding out the fats that we were eating were so deadly to us. And I'm not talking saturated fat, I'm talking the polyunsaturated oils, all the man-made oils. That's what causes. And when we first started this, that was exactly what we started with, was the oils.
Yep.
Because we cut out the oils completely. And it was impossible to find food that didn't have that in it. And even now, if you go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, all of their healthy food is made with canola oil. So this is the newest one. It's by Sally Fallon. She wrote Nourishing Traditions. This is her newest one called Nourishing Fats. There's an abundance of reading out there for me to sit here and expound it all. I always have to refresh myself and know what it is. I think the biggest issue with most vegetable oils is that they are high in polyunsaturated omega-6, which is really bad for you. Absolutely. we don't realize how much omega-6 we have. We're supposed to have at the most, it's supposed to be a 3-to-1 ratio, 6-to-1 ratio with omega-3s to begin with, or at the most. And we do something like 30-to-1 in the foods that we eat. And
so too many omega-6s.
Way too many omega-6s, which cause the inflammation. And so I don't eat anything that has high in omega-6 because we get it in so many other combinations. Like walnuts have both of them in it. And a lot of our nuts have both of them in it. And they're healthy, so I don't add anything else in that has it in there. I've noticed that when I moved to do my homestead, I can eat pastured butter as much as I want because I work so much outside. I don't need to think calories at all. That's true.
Yeah, calories is an odd thing. I mean, if you're not working, calories in, calories out, kind of, that's important. Boy, if you're out working, you need that energy.
I know that we're both on our way down just because of the amount of work. And when we lived in Utah and had our homestead, he was down in the 150s. And he has.
Well, I wasn't working at a computer then. I was doing mostly work on the homestead every day, and there were a lot of heavy things.
And I was a nurse, so I wasn't there to help him. I was out working.
Yeah. So yeah, I worked a lot more. I mean, you know, we're talking 6-8 hours a day, just constant movement, picking up, doing things, and yeah, I burned it. So you're absolutely right. I mean, I was having to eat extra things because I was losing too much weight. Because I was just burning it off like crazy.
So animal fats have been made a villain since the 1960s, 50s, 60s, and especially the 70s, when we weren't supposed to eat animal fats anymore. But they actually help us against disease. They help us against inflammation. They help our brain, especially to be able to work, our cell function, and they just make us feel good. They're like, if you could take your own fat and put it in, it would be really good. So we take good animal fat, animals that have been raised appropriately. So we don't have a lot of people on today. It's too hot and everybody's out working. They're at the pool. So anyway, you have any questions? We eat probably a half of an avocado a day. Do you need to?
Well, I was trying to read it for you, but it's too far away.
Oh, okay. Fat also doesn't cause you to have noticeable increase in insulin. Hard to get fat if your insulin isn't spiked. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. The thing that makes you fat is the sugar, because the sugar is turning into the liver's making that into a cholesterol, and that's not the good cholesterol. So if we eat food that has the good cholesterol in it, our body doesn't have to make the cholesterol from sugar. And that's the kind that makes the plaque and everything else like that. So by eating good cholesterol, good animal fats, we stop our body from making bad cholesterol.
And the cholesterol gets used for the functions where it needs to go, for the constructing the different cells where it needs to construct them.
And they're really, when you go to the doctor and have your cholesterol checked, they really don't do this, another test, can't remember what it's called. It's about $400 if you want to pay for it, which I haven't wanted to do that. But it actually breaks the cholesterol down, and even the LDL and the HDL, into either little tiny beads or big fluffy ones. The big fluffy ones are not dangerous. The little tiny beads are very dangerous. I did say that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they're lumped all together, you can have a number that's bad, but really you need to be more specific. Is it the bad type that's actually going to cause damage?
Right.
And, you know, what do you do?
So there's good LDL and there's bad LDL, and there's good HDL and there's good bad HDL.
So, yeah, it gets really complicated, and you can get into it. You can learn about it, and the tests tend to be a lot more expensive. But if you eat foods that do good things to your body and not bad things to your body, and you exercise appropriately, it gets taken care of. You don't have to have all the science.
Yeah. So one of our viewers this week, because I had said that I considered myself active, not very active. And she comes back, no, you're very active. But I used to be more active. I used to could climb Pikes Peak pretty quickly. And I need to work back up to being able to do that. I used to could ride my bike a long way. I haven't been on my bike in a long time.
Well, we didn't have good places to ride.
But we do now. So we just need to get our bike fixed and do it. So it'll be fun.
Yes.
So, okay, your turn. Talk about something wonderful. Tell about all the projects you're doing on the homestead.
Well,
we brought a gate with us. Tell about this gate.
Well, we're building a small chicken run for the chickens that are in. Right now, it's going to be the chickens that are brooding, and also it will be available during the winter time, so they have a place to come out to when we're keeping them in the chicken coop that we have. So our gate that we had on our chicken coop in Oregon, we brought it with us. It
was big and nice.
It was big.
And he made
a lot to it. It was well made, and we just didn't want to get rid of it. Just turn it into scrap. That wouldn't have made sense. And we figured we could reuse it. So we brought it. So this time, instead of just kind of putting up a fence and getting the gate to fit in there, we have taken the wood that we had and built a frame for this door. So I mean, it fits perfectly. It's kind of hard to hang them right and get everything squared up.
Door things that it closes against, and we painted
so it's well done. But what we're doing is we're building this fence in panels, and they're essentially 8-foot panels.
My phone that you're seeing just rang.
Hopefully that goes to voicemail. That's unusual.
That's it. So,
anyway, we're building it in panels. They're 8-foot panels. Although the one for the gate we had to do some finagling with to get it right. But the others are going to be in 8-foot panels. And part of the reason is there's a little bit of a slope in the land. So if we just build a fence, it's going to be heading downhill. So we're going to build these in 8-foot panels and then set each panel to where it's setting level with the ground, where it's not tipping down. But the panels will fit against each other. Let's go downhill. So it's going to be like that. So it's not that much of a drop, but it'll look better. And it just constructs easier. It's going to be sturdier. So we are going to be working on that over the next however many days it takes us to get it finished. So it'll probably be in the next week before we show the video of that. But it's been a fun project.
It is.
So far. And we're actually painting the wood before we put it up. So it's a lot easier because it's on sawhorses and easier to get
in our barn. That's clean.
In our barn. So it's kind of a fun project. I'm excited to see how it goes together. Now we aren't putting a roof on it, and the wire it's just welded wire. So it's got snakes could get in it, but from everything I've been told is that a flock of chickens, one snake, no match. So snakes aren't just going to come in there. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
We'll learn about that. But anyway, we can add things to it. But it's sweet the way we've got this made. It's going to be great. But that's been a fun project.
Yeah, it is, because we are doing it together, and it's really good.
Yeah.
I was just going to add a little bit more about fat.
You can't stop talking about that.
I'm hot. We have to turn off all the fans when we do this, so it's like we're sitting in Missouri and it's no air right now. But we are in our bedroom because it was cooler until I sat here for a while.
Yeah, it's that the bedroom is on the northeast side of the house, so there's no sun in the afternoon at all, so it tends to be a little cooler, which is great. They were smart in how they designed this house to put the bedroom here, because during the summer this will be potentially the coolest room in the house. So come bedtime, it's not hot like the rest of the house might be.
All right.
And we have trees over us to shade it, so it's great.
So a low-fat diet makes you fat, because usually anything that's low fat, they've added sugar to it, or they've added a lot of salt to it for seasonings. And so usually people that are on low fat diets get fat. You know, it's crazy.
Well, using the conventional wisdom, it's upside down with what is believed to be the cause of the obesity problems and the solution to it. The wrong science was used, and the evidence is what we're seeing in the outcomes. Obviously, there's a misunderstanding, whereas we supposedly know more and we're doing better things, but more people are getting more obese.
And you know, when we first started this 10 years ago, we noticed that all the teenagers had these little muffin tops. You know, they just had these little things, and it was when all the bare midriff shirts were in. And I'm like, you know, that's really not attractive. And, but that's just the way it was because of the food that they ate. And you know, when I think about the food that we tell people to eat, it's just real food. And it's just a variety of it. So Janet says, Rhenda, I just ordered coconut powder online to try in my coffee, and it's organic. And some reviews say that is what they are using, for it. So, good to go. You know, coconut is so good for you. We lived in Colorado Springs, and we had a really good friend there that we knew at church, and he'd been in our home many times, and we had been in his home, and he had written a book. And we
didn't know it at the time.
He had traveled around the world. We knew that they were doing something with eating right, but we didn't know what it was, and we weren't that much into it at the beginning. And found out later that it's Bruce Fife who wrote the coconut. Oh goodness, I don't remember.
You should have got ready for that answer. Yeah. Anyway, he's like the guy if you want to know about coconut anything.
Yeah. And they traveled to Thailand where the coconut is, and I'll just look it up really fast and let you know what it is. But we're like, oh my goodness, that's funny that he just kind of kept it quiet and didn't.
I wish we had at that time known more about coconut, known that he was involved. We could have learned so much from him. It was a real loss on our part.
Yeah.
But we could have gotten started on it much sooner.
Well, it would help if I could text, but I can't.
You want me to do it for you?
You guys, I'm the worst texter in the whole wide world. See, you can't either.
Whoa. My fingers are too big. That's fine.
There he is. Okay. He also was president of Weston Price for a while. I did not know that at all. This is his picture. But his books are Benefits of Coconut Oil. I know he's written a cookbook on it. That's not his.
That's not.
Just go to Amazon. We're boring them.
Yep, boring times.
Coconut oil is the best for everything inside and out. Yes, it's my
face. The coconut oil miracle.
That's it. The coconut oil miracle.
Stop vision loss now. Stop Alzheimer's now. Oil pulling theory. Don't know about that. Coconut cures. Cooking coconut flour.
And stop autism. He's written all of these books on coconut. Anyway, I use coconut for my face cream at night. So, well, children, it is time to go.
We're ready to go already?
Oh, no, we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We started early.
Yeah.
We started early. So, I had a question I wanted to ask people. First of all, I want to know how 180 degrees from average is doing on their homestead, because they had started their homestead when we met them. And Casey, it will also be the coolest room in the house in the winter. Perhaps not a good thing.
That's true. It's true.
It was.
Actually, in this house, it's not true.
It wasn't.
Although when we make some of the repairs we plan on doing, it may become, because really the coldest room in the house has been the living room. And the reason for that is above the living room are they're like attic rooms. It's finished up there, but the heating goes up there finished. And it escapes. So in addition to that, the crawl space under the house along the edges of the wall where the wall comes up, and it's the old lath and plaster walls, the cold air from underneath comes up. So as the hot air rises and escapes out through the ceiling and roof, it's pulling the cold air into the living room from the crawl space. So that room is like an ice. It's horrible. So we've got to fix that.
You know what we should do? We should have them take them on a tour of our house at some point. So remember, if you remember our project. And first of all, let me say congratulations to 180 Degrees. They had their baby.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So very good. I need to go to their website and look and see it.
Okay.
Congratulations to you. We, if you remember when we looked at this house, we turned around and walked out and drove off the property. We came back for the outbuildings, and it's like everything we go to do has to be fixed. The toilet needs to be lifted up and a new thing put on. The sink needs to be fixed because it's dripping. The bathtub needs to be fixed because it's dripping.
A lot of little things and
some very big things.
So, you know, they're simple, but on the priority list, they're not as important as some of the other things that we're working on.
Well, we really do need to get them done. And then we're like, oh, we've got live animals now. So it's hard. So anyway, but let's see. Okay. Well, we're going to say goodbye, and we appreciate you joining us. And we will.
Aren't you going to pre-talk about your announcement?
Pre-talk about my announcement?
I mean, just kind of get everybody anxious for it.
Okay, wait, let me read. Janet said she got her blood work back, and the doctor just said B12. So I guess that's good. I also got B complex to go with that. Very good. Anyway, thank you, everyone. On Saturday, I have an announcement, and then that's the end of our 30 days. That's June 30th. So the next week, we're going to start doing our videos Tuesday through Saturday so that we don't have to do them on Saturday and Sunday, and we do them on Monday for Tuesday, and that way they'll come out that way. So there'll be 5 days a week still like they were before we did the 30-day, but they'll be Tuesday through Saturday.
And we really appreciate everybody watching and coming along in this with us. Plus, we have gotten a lot of feedback from people who have had significant changes, where they've dropped the inches, they've dropped the pounds, they've made a huge difference in their lifestyle, and they're seeing the results of it. So, you know, this, once again, it's not magic, and this isn't something that only we know about, but by encouraging people to do it and then finding out, hey, this is real information and it works, amazing things are happening in their lives. And that's gratifying to us. It really touches us to know that it doesn't work for just us. It can work for anybody. And yeah, we may have to, each of us, adapt it to our own bio-individuality situation. But when we do that and we eat right and we take care of ourselves, get rid of the stuff that's killing us, it changes it for us. We get healthy.
Yep. Okay. This is the video for Thursday. So we'll have another video out on Friday.
Thanks for watching. Take care.
Bye-bye.